Hi, my name is Mo Cruz, and this is my Pecha Kucha assignment 4, How Technology Has Affected Our Culture and Our Way of Life. In 1800s, the computer was first started with a machine that could calculate math problems known as a calculator to us today. The main purpose of the machine was to calculate astronomical tables. See, in 1940, an idea of the analytical machine, which claimed could perform any mathematical calculations, was built, but there were too many bugs and defects that made the machine incapable of doing any mathematics at all. Many years later, IBM created the very first realistic PC machine called the Mark II. Soon after the release of IBM computers, a company called Apple emerged. They were the first company to massive produce and sell PCs. From the point when PCs became known, the computer world was a drastic change that would affect the world. 2006, a computer record was released, followed by many statistics that was astounding to computer companies. See, three-quarters of Americans spend 12 hours on the computer a week. 70% of Americans said that they would rather shop online than go to a store. We were now more wired than ever, from computers to gaming consoles to TVs with internet in them. With some of the techno gadgets I mentioned, they all have one thing in common, and that is to making our lives much easier with access to the World Wide Web and network through a faster and faster bandwidth.
British Telecom has announced plans to expand its trial 1 gigabit rollout to include 40 rural local towns. Oliver Garfield, BT's Director of Strategy, said she intends to continuously push the limits of superfast broadband in terms of technology and geography. The plan is to create the best broadband network in Europe by 2015. No doubt we'll be hearing more from BT and Virgin Media. Virgin Media claims to offer the fastest at-home connections currently. So it seems our world is set to become ever more connected, ever faster, without you needing to even leave home.
In the University of Glasgow, researchers have found that half the study participants reported checking their emails once an hour, while some, if not most individuals, check up to 30 to 40 times an hour. How many times do you check? An AOL study revealed that 59% of PDA cell phone users check every single time an email arrives, and 83% check email every day they're on vacation. That is over half the users. Now, what about the postal service? People already pay for the internet. One of the biggest things they use it for is to send emails back and forth to their families and friends, right? It is much easier and faster to send mail on the internet than it is to send it through a post office, right? What do you think? Online bill pay has made it possible for people to click a few buttons and be done with bill paying. That means they don't have to send most of their bills through a post office service. Why don't they bother to spend money on stamps running to the post office if they can sit at their desk and have it done much faster?
Despite the ever-growing popularity of online banking, for more than half of Americans, paying the bills still looks like this: sticking a check in an envelope and mailing it off. But that doesn't mean electronic bill paying isn't popular. Last year, 3.3 billion bills were paid, not just electronically, but automatically.
But what about our health? Hippocrates once said, if you could give every individual the right amount of nourishment and exercise, not too little, not too much, we would have found the safest way to health. This is true, but it's nowhere near this easy. Over the past 30 years, Americans have really let the health of our children slip. We may not realize it, but if we think about it, it is no wonder why kids and adults tend to be much heavier. We now have fax machines, computers, printers, copiers, satellite dishes, cable TV, video games, the internet, digital cameras, cell phones, all of which accommodate convenience but also a lazy lifestyle. What do we do before all these new gadgets? We walk to the post office to mail a letter. Now we log on to use the email. Kids used to go to a library and search around for the right information. Now they simply look up everything they need on the internet. Playing action games used to be involved actual action with the arms, the legs, hands, feet, hearts, and lungs. Now kids can sit in front of the screen and play the Wii and connect or even the move. Don't get me wrong, that new stuff is fun, but before TV and video games, kids were far more active. And people have adapted to all these new sources of technology. We have it all in our fingertips, and it would be a waste of time to even revert back to the old ways. See, we just need to recognize that our lifestyle today, with all this new technology, doesn't provide for much exercise or really much necessary movement at all. Therefore, we need to make up for this by using spare time to exercise. It is crucial that we begin with our kids because if a person is obese as a child, they will much more likely be obese as an adult. Even worst case, not live for a long time because of their health. And we need to stop and look at where we are headed with ourselves and what we are leaving our kids with in the future. Or we can end up like the movie Wally and end up being lazy for 900 years. Even though that's my favorite movie. But you get my point. Well, this is the end of my presentation. Thank you for watching.